I'm good to go.
Alright, gents, welcome to Hop 4. In Hop 4, we're going to be going over some basic stuff with LGBs, JDAMs, and the integration with the targeting pod with it. So, not going to insult your intelligence, you can all read the Lightning 2 targeting pod page up here. Dim the lights for you. Basically, let's go through it. Targeting pod can be mounted on Station 5 and is indicated in the store's management systems as FLIR. Disregard that. Targeting pod is interfaced with via the FLIR format available on the TAC menu whenever FLIR is powered. From the right console, the targeting pod components are controlled by 3 switches. And those 3 switches are the FLIR switch, where you've got the off, which is what you're going to start off in. Then you've got standby, which basically powers it up and to get into a ready status, and then you've got on, where you can actually operate the thing. Next to that, you'll have the LTD/R switch. Again, you'll be set originally in the safe position, where when it is powered, when the FLIR is and cannot be fired, no options are presented on the FLIR format. Safe position can be set by the computer itself in certain situations, and the arm switch in the up position is basically it's on. And what that does is, with the LTD/R, it basically finds your ranges for you, and it can give you a more up-to-date laser ranging format. And then finally, the LST/N FLIR. The on LST powered, ooh, you can barely see this. LST is powered when the FLIR is on. This switch is so named because of the additional functionality of the navigation FLIR when using FLIR targeting pod. And off is, of course, off. Alright, next slide. Basically, this is going to show you everything that you're going to see on your actual TGP when you have it able to designate and slew around. On the top right section, you're going to have your status, which it will say either operation or OP will operate, which is OPR, or standby, STDBY. And whenever you start flicking through your modes, that will also change below it to either area track or point track mode. Underneath that, on the left-hand side, you've got your zooms. You can get up into a 9 times magnification with it, and all the way back. Don't really need to worry about number 3 as of now. If anything changes, though, in the future, we will update. Next one underneath that is the bottom left push button, which is your FLIR CCD toggle. You basically push it, you'll go between a CCD image or a FLIR image. Use at your own discretion with that. Underneath that, whenever you are in the FLIR mode, you will get a black, well, either a white or black hot contrast. You can push that to swap it in between the modes. You will only get this mode if you are in FLIR mode. If you are in CCD mode, there will not be anything there. Alright, keep going right in a counterclockwise fashion. You got the automatic level and gain. Basically, you push the button and it will adjust the gain for you, so you don't have to the level and gain, so you don't have to mess with it. Alright, number 7, all the way over to the right-hand side, is your grayscale. Basically, it pops up a little thing on the bottom, and you want to be able to see all these little blocks, and yeah. Alright, number 8, which is going up a little bit more, is the reticle, and that toggles what display of the FLIR reticle is. Number 9 is freeze, which is at the very top middle. It does exactly what you think it is. It freezes the image for you. Then push button 10, which is at the top left. That's your FOV toggle. So you've got two different modes. You got wide and you got narrow. Wide, you'll be able to see a wider point of view, and narrow is like looking through a Coke straw. And yeah, it basically gives you an enhanced view, so you can really dial in if you need to. All right, number 11, that is the horizontal position. What that is telling you is where your pod is actually looking at. It'll tell you if you're looking to the left of the plane or you're looking to the right of the plane, and how many degrees offset it is. Number 12 is your vertical position. Basically, it tells you at what angle the targeting pod is looking at, going basically from 0 degrees to 90 degrees, 180 degrees. Number 13 is your situational awareness cue. Basically, it's a little bitty dot, and whenever you're slaving and moving around your TGP, it basically just gives you an updated view of a roundabout area of where you're looking at in correlation with yourself. Number 14, that little bank and angle section there on the left-hand side, or bottom left-hand side of the actual screen. Very, very handy whenever you're trying to do a search or you're trying to do FAC-A type stuff. Let you know what your what your bank, and what your AOA is, so you don't have to come out of the actual view. Number 15, which is underneath that, is your Mach and airspeed indicator. You should know what that is. Number 16, it's the numbers to the bottom right. On this image, you can see it as 22260. It's basically your altitude. And then finally, right underneath that is the declutter button. You press that, it wipes off everything. We good so far?
Yep, good so far.
All right, cool. With the FLIR, you've got a couple of different things that you can do with it as well. Say you know where it's at and it's right off the tip of your nose, but you don't want to spend an hour and a half trying to actually slew the thing over to it. What you can do is you can hit where the number 1 is, Victor Victor Sierra Lima Victor, or Velocity Vector Slave. Basically, what that's going to do is wherever your velocity vector is on your HUD, that's where the TGP is going to look. It's slaved to it. Then all you have to do is put your put the velocity vector on where you think the target area is, and then give it a nice little slew so they'll get a good track on the ground and stabilize. And then the FLIR reticle, center of the FLIR, which is what it will track and designate. Basically, what I just said, that's where you're looking. So with the FLIR operation, you do have the ability to use it in a couple different modes. Snowplow is one mode. Snowplow is not really used that much. It's only really used if you're flying through an area and you're just trying to get a good geographical area view. You don't know where anything is, but you want to get a good area, well, a good bird's eye view of what's going on. With the reticle slave in this mode, the FLIR slave to the line of sight on the AG reticle, such as CCIP cross. Basically, what that means is it's wherever your CCIP pipper is looking, that's where it's going to go. It's useful whenever you are going for a buddy lays type bombing situation. Once again, you got the velocity vector slaved. Just set it. If you don't understand it, consult the nearest instructor. Then you got stabilized pointing mode. Stabilized pointing mode is entered when a target's designated from snowplow or is cycled from the auto track or point track via the sensor's control switch. In this mode, the FLIR can be slewed freely and the target is constantly updated to its current location. When it is not being slewed, the FLIR stabilizes to whatever position on the ground it is pointed at. Basically, it's basically your free-for-all look, but what it does is it just holds onto the image and where it's looking at instead of just continuously scanning and going with you. Then you got the area track. In area track, the FLIR is slaved to the location of the target and cannot be slewed. Area track is entered by pressing the sensor control switch toward the FLIR format. That's a big one. So if you decide to have your FLIR on the left-hand side, the right-hand side, or you want to put it on the bottom MFD, you have to press your sensor control switch in that direction to flip through it. So if it's on my bottom one, I press it down, and you will see it update. And you will also see the reticle update as well. Oops. All right, next one, area track.
And that does have to be your sensor of interest to make that work, right?
Affirm. The only way that you can even utilize the TGP at any time is if you are using it as your sensor. Well, if you make that your center of interest. And if we go back, if you look at that image at the top right-hand section, you see the diamond with the dot in it. That's your indication that the sensor is soy or sensor of interest. Once again, if it's on the left, if you put your FLIR on the left-hand side, make sure you press the SCS on the left, and you will see an update on that side. If it's on the right, you press right on to make it soy and on the bottom as well. All right, continuing on. In area track, the FLIR is slaved to the location of the target and cannot be slewed. Once again, it cannot be slewed while you're in point track mode. Disregard that in area track mode. Okay, then you got point track. In point track, the FLIR tracks an object. Best way to think of this, for an area, you want to track a building. For point track, you want to track a BTR or any type of mobile vehicle or something like that. Let's see. Point track is entered via pressing the sensor control switch towards the FLIR format. So once again, if you want to get into area or point track, just keep flipping. Keep pressing your center control switch in the direction that you make your TGP. Alright, so a fun one is the offset cursor designation. Can only be done in point track mode, and what it does is in point track, the TDC can be depressed to display an offset cursor in the form of a plus. Basically, you'll get a little bitty plus sign on your TGP, and you can actually slew that around that area. Keep in mind, while it's in point track, it will not slew at all. The only way that you can slew a TGP around is whenever you are in the stabilized pointing mode. But if you are on a point track and you're looking around and you say, "Oh, okay, I see this other target. I want to quickly snap to it as soon as I am done lasing this object." What you can do is slew that little plus sign over to that and wait for whenever you're done doing your laser stuff. Then you depress the TDC again. Basically, you press press your TDC again, and it will swap over to that plus sign's location.
That's TDC designate, or?
Yes, that is
Okay.
TDC. Alright, let's see. The FLIR is pointed by slewing the TDC Wherever the FLIR reticle is pointed, air to ground target can be designated from that location via TDC depress. So basically, whatever you're pointed at, you press TDC depress. That's where it's going to lock. And if you look at the bottom, you'll see a couple of images. You got the stabilized pointing mode. That's what it looks like whenever you're just slowing around. If you target and designate, you press the TDC depress. That's what's going to happen.
So do you have to hold down TDC depress to move the offset cursor designator, or do you just hit it and slew? How does that work?
Hit it and slew.
Okay.
All right. Once physically able, it will. Well, when a target is designated by the FLIR, it becomes limited by its physical gimbal and or is masked by the airframe. Basically, what that's saying is whenever a target is designated, it's going to lock onto it and hold it. And the only thing that's going to cause that image to get distorted or something is if you get it off gimbal or part of your aircraft is covering it up. You can wagon wheel around it and do whatever you want, but it will hold that location until you decide to move it. And then once physically able, it will return to the location of the target designation automatically. This is the memory function, and when active is indicated by MEM or Mike Echo Mike at the bottom center of the format. So basically, you'll see whenever you do become offset of the target and you can't see it anymore, MEM is going to pop up at the bottom and it's going to blink a little bit. So far, so good?
Yep.
Clear as mud?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. All this starts coming together more and more with both the training and actually sitting in the pit and fiddling around with it. All right, now for the fun stuff. We're going to actually start putting lasers on things with the LTD/R. So you'll see on the image, number 1, LTDR status. It gives you the status, and it can be read both here on the TGP itself or on the HUD. And it will tell you LTD, LARM, the LTD will flash, or LTD/R will flash. And to go through all that, if LTD/R is flashing, the laser is currently firing and is able to determine the range, and the FLIR reticle flashes as well. So basically, that's telling you that you are getting that your laser is firing and you are receiving a range. If you look at the image right above the red number 3, you'll see 5.2 TGT. That is the range from this location to the target. And at this exact moment, the individual is at 5.2 miles. Now, if you just get LTD but no LTD/R, the laser is firing, but it's not able to determine the range. But the FLIR reticle will still flash. With LARM, the laser is armed. Basically, this is indicated when automatically armed prior to firing for weapon delivery or when trig option is boxed, which is the red number 2. So basically, it's telling you that, hey, the laser is armed, it's ready to go, but we're not shooting anything just yet. You can manually operate this by boxing trig where the number 2 is. And whenever you press that, the laser will only fire if you pull the trigger for it.
Oh, so if you don't box trig, it'll auto arm laser weapons? I didn't know that. That's good.
Yep. All right. 2. Just got done talking about trig. When boxed, trig arms manual lasing with the trigger. If trigger is boxed, the air-to-ground gun is removed from the store's format. So it's a inherent safety within the aircraft. Basically, you pull the trigger without trig being boxed, you're going to shoot your gun, and we don't need to send rounds to civilians. And finally, UFC number 3. You can see that on the right-hand side towards the bottom, right above gray. Next to it, you see code 1688. What this is basically if you don't want to use the standard laser code within DCS, which is 1688, you can press that button and you can change it on your upfront controller. It's recommended that you do change your laser code, that way you do not, in case one of your buddies is doing a bombing run whenever he shouldn't be, or someone forgets to turn off their laser, you can offset your numbers so that you and only you are hitting that specific target. All right, LTD/R operation. The manual operation, LTD/R, can be manually fired with the trig option. Once again, you press the trigger button. That's the manual way. Then you got automatic ranging, which hopefully will come later on in DCS. Whenever it does, this will be implemented and we will go over it. Until then, though, it's not implemented, so we don't need to worry about it. Then you got automatic weapon designation. You got it with two different. Well, with automatic weapon designation, you got it with two different types of munitions. You got it with laser guided bombs, and you got them with the AGM-65E Maverick or the Laser Maverick. With LGBs like the GBU-12 and the GBU-16, basically all you got to do is release, and the LTD/R fires continuously, beginning a preset time prior to time to impact, and then until the precedent time until impact plus 10 seconds. What that basically means is it will, within the aircraft itself, it's a lot smarter than all of us combined, and it figures out, okay, when do I need to fire this laser? And now I do. And it will continue to shoot the laser until 10 seconds after the predicted time of impact. When the laser has completed firing, the LTD/R switch moves back into the safe position. With that being said, you're going to have to look over to your right butt cheek where the operation is, and you are going to have to physically flip the switch from the safe position to the arm position. All right, and then with the Laser Maverick missile, when the Laser Maverick missile is selected, holding the weapons release button will simultaneously begin lasing the target and uncage the Maverick. Once locked into the laser, Maverick automatically fires. The laser remains on until the predicted time of impact plus 10 seconds, and then automatically moves to the safe. So basically, you get your Maverick, you aim it at where you want to go, you shoot the Maverick. Well, you TDCD press to get it into the roundabout area. You shoot the Maverick, it shoots, then laser comes on automatically.
So which has to be soy when you fire? Is it the FLIR screen or the Maverick screen?
It's going to be the FLIR. The only time you're really going to get the Maverick to be soy is whenever you are firing it. Once you're done firing it, flip it over.
Okay.
But we're not going to be shooting the Mavericks, so stand by with that, and we'll get back to that in a later time.
All right.
All right, next is the fun one, LST, or Laser Search Track. This is basically whenever you go around you're flying around with your buddies, and say I find a target, but you're blind. You'd have no idea where this thing is. But I don't have the munitions to shoot it. Well, I don't have the munitions to get rid of this target. What's going to happen is I'm going to send the laser. You're going to find it by pressing the LST button, and your targeting pod is going to find where that point is, capture it, and then update it for yourself. It's really fun with buddy lasing. So you got two different types of searches. You got your wide and narrow searches. Well, if you press up at the top of your thing of the MFD, it becomes the wide and narrow search. So you can basically search either a wide area or a narrow area. Next thing you need to know how to use is your UFC button. Again, this is to basically set your laser. The most important one, though, whenever you're trying to play with the LST, is the LST button itself on the MFD. This is the laser code in which you are trying to find. So, say I am on laser code 1680, and that's the laser that I'm firing. If you want to see what I'm seeing, you have to make your LST 1680. The UFC code, that is for you, your personal doing. You do whatever you want to do with that boo boo. LST is seeing what everyone else is seeing. And you're going to get. You can always ask your flights and your wingman, hey, what's your code, so that I can plug in my LST. That way, you don't have to try and communicate that while you're in flight or in combat. Still clear as mud?
Yep.
Awesome. All right, next page. Let's see. Who wants to do some talking?
I'll do it.
Awesome.
Alright, laser guided bombs. The Hornet carries the following paveway series of laser guided bomb units, which are the variants of Mark 82, 83, and 84. GBU 12, paveway 2 is a 500 pound, 16 is 1,000, 10 is 2,000, and then 24 is a paveway 3 at a 2,000 pound bomb. Laser guided bombs use a laser tracking seeker to lock onto a laser with a specific frequency. This laser will be fired by the airplane's own targeting pod, another aircraft, or a ground unit. When selected and in air-to-ground master mode, the HUD displays the current mode of either CCIP, auto, FD, or manual. As indication, a conventional-sized laser-guided bomb is selected. No indication for the bomb type is provided in the HUD. This indication is crossed out when air-to-ground ready is false. The SMS designations are 82LG, 83LG, and an 84LG. Okay, GPS guided bombs. The F-18C is able to employ the GPS guided JDAM bombs and a joint strike or standoff weapon, JSAL. JDAMs are modified general purpose bombs equipped with a GPS and inertial navigation system for guidance as well as flight controls. The JSAL has the same guidance and is a bomb with wings to provide lift and maneuvering flight controls. As such, it has a significantly longer range than the JDAMs. The JDAMs/JSALs have an optimal INS alignment, a margin of error of approximately 16 feet. Independent programming of each individual bomb allows for simultaneous multi-target attacks. They consist of the GBU 38, 32, 31 JDAMs, whose base are the Mark 82, 83, and 84 respectively, as well as the GBU 31, which is a JDAM variant of the Blue 109 2,000-pound penetrator bomb. The JSAL consists of the AGM-154A and the AGM-154C. The A variant is a cluster, while the C is a penetration warhead. All JDAM and JSAL variants, except for the GBU-31 and 31V, can be mounted on single or dual stations 2, 3, 7, and 8. The GBU-31 and 31V can be mounted single on the same stations. We're not going to do any JSALs today, but Saturday we're going to do Mavericks, Harpoons, and JSALs. The SMS designation is J82, 83, 84, J109, or JSA or JSC, depending on the ordinance on the table. Alright, Ultra, you can read.
JDAM JSOW display format. The JDAM and JSOW display formats are where most JDAM JSOW options are presented for the selected weapon type. The JDAM display and JSOW display can be accessed from an option on the store's format when the JDAM JSOW is selected, and is also available on any display from the TAC menu whenever the JDAM JSOW is selected in the store's format. The JDAM JSOW display format shares some options and indications of the store's format. When a JDAM JSOW type is selected, it also provides many additional options. 1. Station data. From top to bottom, 1 is selected station, 2 is selected pre-planned or target of opportunity mission for the station, and 3 is weapon type. 2. On time. A count-up timer indicating how long the weapon has been powered. 3. Release type and quantity. This is the selected release type for the amount of bombs that have been selected with the quantity option. 4. Mission sublevel. 5. Release type. This allows for the selection of the manual, auto, loft, or FD release types. 6 is not implemented. 7 is quantity. This allows for multiple stations to be selected for release, but will still all have their separate PP or TOO missions applied. The weapon's release button is held down until all selected bombs are released. This allows for multi-target attacks with a single release of all bombs. 8's not implemented, and then pre-plan mission sub-level section is work in progress. Alright, target of opportunity mission sub-level. Target of opportunity TOO mode equates the weapon's target to the universal air-to-ground target designation, which allows for another sensor to designate the JDAM JSOW's target, e.g. the FLIR, air-to-ground radar, or a waypoint. Only one target can exist at once, but separate profiles exist per station for TOO, where an offset from the target can be set. Meaning a unique target per weapon can essentially exist in TOO. The TOO profile also stores separate employment options. These are edited from the TOO mission sublevel. TOO missions. TOO mode allows for 2 missions to be defined per station, labeled TOO1 and TOO2. These have independent parameter settings unique to each station. The box profile is the one will be executed by the station assigned on release. The boxing of TOO1 or TOO2 will be saved when stepping to another station. When no air-to-ground target is designated, both TOO profiles are crossed out. A valid target designation is the only requirement for a TOO release. 2 and 3 are not implemented. 4. TOO UFC brings up the upfront controller options for the terminal flight options for the selected TOO mission. 1 is heading, true heading of the bomb before impact. 2 is ANG-HT. For JDAMs and the JSOW Charlie variant, the angle in degrees at which the bomb will impact. For the JSOW Alpha variant, this is the height in feet or meters of bomblet release. 3. Velocity, velocity of the bomb in feet per minute before impact. 5 is not implemented. 6 is the offset release point, ORP. The ORP is the designated air-to-ground target. This is the target point for the TOO mission, except if offset parameters are defined. 7. Offset, OS. Offset parameters, if any, which will be based on the ORP for the selected TOO mission. 8. Terminal parameters. Entered terminal parameters for the TOO mission. 9. Return. Returns to the main JDAM JSOW display format.
Alright, for the release types of the JDAMs and the JSOWs, they have multiple different release types, which concern the method of releasing munitions onto the target and are independent of the pre-planned target of opportunity programming modes. Single depression of the weapon's release button will release the currently stepped to bomb if the quantity option is used. All selected bombs will release as long as the button is held down, meaning hold down the weapon's release button at all times until all of the munitions have come off. Regardless of the release type, the following cues on the right side of the HUD are always displayed when in the air-to-ground master mode. You got your time to maximum range, which is TMR timer in minutes and seconds, labeled as minute, minute, second, second. This is the time to in range launch. See HSI indications. When within maximum range, it will display in range. When the ISLAR is when in the ISLAR, it will display in zone. In range zone will flash when the aircraft is about to leave the ISLAR. In the release mode, weapon type followed by TOO/PP. When a pre-planned mission is programmed with the target, the same indications are displayed as when an air-to-ground target is. Range, diamond superimposed on the physical target, bearing arrow, and diamond on the heading tape. Below the velocity vector, two horizontal lines form the pull-up Q. When the velocity vector is under the pull-up Q, the bomb is likely not to have sufficient time to arm itself if released. Then you have manual mode, which allows the bombs to be released at any time. No specific HUD indications are provided for manual mode. You got your auto loft or auto LF, which is not yet implemented, and FD, which is not yet implemented.
And that's it.
All right, and with that, I will turn everything back over to Ripper.
Okay. All right, so when we get to the bird, you're gonna load up 2 JDAMs and 2 LGBs, and then a belly tank. The Hornets can carry the target pod on the 7, right? On the side belly.
Affirm.
Okay. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. You can step to your plane.
Copy.
Oh, good. It's dark.
Yeah, I did that for a reason. So it'd be easy to see the lasers. The timing of the briefing actually worked out because it was just before sunset when we started. We're gonna step to SRS as well.
Copy.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna do GBU 12s and GBU 38s.
Request rearming. Copy. Rearming complete. Copy. NVG installed.
Is it running smoother?
It's not smooth, but it's a lot smoother than it was. Yes.
Okay, I may go
Well-
in and take the missile trainer thing out as well.
Okay. But yeah, it's nowhere near as bad as it was Saturday, at least not yet.
Alright, I'll see y'all on 251.
Roger.
League 11 checking out on 251.
Sting 1-1 checking on 251.
505.
Ultra checking.
Checking in. Do we have elevations for these waypoints? Negative.
inherit whenever I put the coordinate in and I hit enter, it goes back to zeros.
Say again.
So I'm typing the waypoint in. I have position selected, and then it says I hit enter on the coordinates. It says 0 to 0, just like blanks out.
No idea. For waypoint 2, can you confirm the north coordinate? Is it 50 or 05?
It's 36355.
So 05?
Aver.
Negative.
Or
363550 for waypoint 2 northing, correct? Good copy.
yeah, I can't get the waypoints to type in.
Dodge 3, passing waypoint 2 at 2,200.
Tab, what's bingo for this? Set bingo for 7. Sting 1-1, green jet. Sting 1-2, green jet.
Leap is still trying to dig with the waypoints.
Copy.
Dodge 3, passing waypoint 3 at 2,100.
Sting 1, just double checking. I'm showing waypoint 1 for me is 2902 at 21 miles. Stand by. Affirm. Copy.
Dodge 3, passing waypoint 4 at 2,100. Dodge 3, passing
Jump on 1, Sting 1-1.
100.
Jump one, so
Jump 1, Sting 1, myself and my wing gear are going to go ahead and start taxiing over to 2-1 left, since that's active, where we will park at parking spots Delta 1 and Delta 2.
affirm.
Sting 1-2, Sting 1-1.
Copy.
Send. Copy last. Affirm. Also, Sting 1-2, go ahead and push on 305 for intercom talk between us, and we'll leave 251 for talking between the two flights. Good copy. Sting 1-2, Sting 1-1. How about it?
Complete. Request rearming.
Copy. Yeah, just wanted to get off of having a talk over everything with this. Yeah, that'll work. Also allows him to do this thing without being interrupted by us. Exactly.
This is Leap 1. I have dropped the JDAM to
Sting 1-2, disregard. Disregard Sting 1-1 copies.
I leave 1-1 is rolling.
Can you verify the altimeter setting for this airport?
Altimeter setting 2975. And of course I used the wrong button.
Hey, you know, you can't get it right every time.
I swear, 60% of the time it works 100% of the time.
So true.
Also, you might want to go ahead and start warming up your TGP, at least throw it into the standby mode.
Done and done. Yeah, the last hop had a bug. Couldn't box any of my weapons. Try to box one, all it would do is hit the button and then it would say step, and that's it. No matter what I did.
That's weird.
Yeah, Ripper said it was an old bug. I had never seen it before.
Yeah, I personally haven't seen it, but I've heard about it.
Also, waypoints were all screwed up, but I don't know if that was me or something related.
It happens.
Yep.
Jump flight, sting flight.
Jump flights in it.
Jump flight, sting flight. We're going to go ahead and push over to 2-1 left since you're ready to go.
5-second separation per usual. Copy.
One set.
2 set.
And away one goes.
Two's wheels up.
Leaders wheels up.
Sting flight push waypoint 1, aim for Angels 10. Waypoint 1, Angels 10, copy. Sting 1, say your smash. Aiming for 300. Copy. One, 2 is on your right wing. One. Two, 1, fin time. Two's fenced in, 11.2. One fenced in, 11.2. Are we staying lights on for the exercise or not? Over. We're gonna go ahead and make a left-hand anchor. Okay. Alright, and go ahead and bring it into the left-hand turn now. To copy. Shot, staying.
quarter mile off the right hand side.
Sting copies. Do you want us to go ahead and proceed to NTTR or no?
They firm, we can proceed.
Proceed to NTTR, Sting.
Two copies off. Alright, so we're gonna just finish up this wagon well and then head over to point 2. Okay. Sting, jump, disregard, jump, Sting, confirm targets at waypoint 3 and waypoint 4.
They firm. The two targets are shipping containers inside the bullseyes. That's steer points 3 and 4.
Shipping containers at steer points 3 and 4. Sting copies. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll proceed over to waypoint 2 and then at waypoint 3. Let me see how far it is. Alright, at waypoint, basically we'll set up for waypoint 3 at waypoint 2. So I'll orbit waypoint 2 while you make your attack runs and vice versa. Sounds good? Okay. Too many words to speak. Say again. Saying too many words to speak. Following off to steer point 2. When you go to make your run in for waypoint 3, use LGBs on waypoint 3, and then we're going to do a TOO attack on with JDAMs for waypoint 4. How copy? Good copy. LGBs to the proper laser code. Copy. You are cleared to break off and begin attack runs. as needed.
Copy. I'm going to go up to Angels 12 and start an orbit while I set up weapons.
1, copy. Track Sting, be advised, Sting 1-2, climbing to Angels 1-2 to prep for LGB attack on waypoint 3. Sting 1 in left-hand orbit near steer point 2.
Confirmed. Leap is tied to Sting 1-1.
Sting copies.
It looks like the range targets have lights on them.
Oh yeah, take your time.
Oh, that makes it a little bit easier.
1, how you doing out there?
Still trying to locate one of the shipping crates. Working on it.
Copy.
I'm seeing a crane and a bunch of structures in that area. Is it close to that?
I'll tell you what, we'll do a LST search. What is your laser code?
1688.
Alright, go ahead and turn on your laser, and I will set up an LST. Advise when sparkle.
Firm should be firing now.
Copy.
My laser track's not seeing anything.
Alright, let me come off. I'll verify that that waypoint.
Copy.
I was on the wrong laser code anyway.
Sting 1 ready for words.
Send it.
Waypoint 3, I have north 363743, west 1153026.
That's an A firm.
Copy. Try it again. Do you know if there's a way on your FLIR screen to make your symbols black instead of white? I'm having a hell of a time even reading them.
Yes. You want to go make sure that you're in the FLIR mode, and then you want to hit the white hot. Basically, make sure you're in FLIR, and at the very bottom left, you'll see BLK or WHD, and that is going to adjust.
Hey, firm stem. The problem might be that I think the targets might be masked by a hill when repositioning. Copy.
Attack south to north. That should be the valley. It won't be any hills in the way.
Jump 1, Sting 2, can you advise the shipping container is it on a big bullseye?
Affirm, big bullseye. Are you lasing?
Shortly. Sting 2's running it. Seconds. Nickel, blazing.
That was a good hit.
Sting 2, Sting 1, do you want me to deliver both weapons or are we taking turn? Stay firm, drop them both. Copy. Off to the south, resetting.
My jump is orbiting at 16,000 feet over the range.
Can you advise both GBU-12s, are they supposed to go on the same target or is there more than one of those there?
Same target.
Sting 2, copy. 2's running in. Sting 2, pickle, let's run. Sting 2's off to the south, returning to IP waypoint 2. Sting 1 copies. Also be advised I just hit bingo 6.3. Copy that too. Just make sure that you're at about 300 knots and we should be good. Advise when you're at about 4. If
Alright, Sting 1, you clear in the hot?
Sting 1's gonna orbit the area to try and get eyes on target.
Sting 2 will be doing a clockwise orbit at Angels 12 waypoint 2.
One copies. Jump 1, Sting 1. Confirmed target area is eastmost bullseye.
Say again, I don't understand.
Confirmed target area is eastmost bullseye from gun pits.
Target area is west of the gun pits with a line of tanks in front of it.
Westmost gun pits with columns of tanks in front.
They firm. Yeah, there's a line of APCs in front of it.
Sting 1 middle, off to the south. 1 splash.
Nice. With the night vision, you can see the bomb all the way in.
Sting 1 positioning from south for second run on target area. Cover that, you go ahead and turn on your JDAMs to get the cooldown going.
Hey, firm, just did that. Good to go.
Top. Jump staying into target area south to north. At 30 seconds to drop. At 15. Sting 1 pickle off to the east. Sting 1 sparkle.
That was long.
A firm didn't get the laser off in time. Go ahead and start scanning waypoint 4 for targets and be prepared to go ahead and run in on 2 different sets of targets with JDAMs. No copy.
Good copy. Just confirming it's on a bullseye there as well.
Confirm. Jump, Sting.
Jumps in it.
Copy, jump. Currently, Sting 1 and 2 are going to be in a clockwise rotation around waypoint 2. Recommend you go ahead and extend your munitions on waypoint 4 while we wait for JDAMs to align.
Give me a buddy lays on 1688 on that target.
Stand by. I'll send them the laser.
advise when laser's ready.
Laser on.
Alright, jump one turn in. And it's not finding anything.
Sting 1, this is 2, just advising I am set up for attack at waypoint 4. When ready.
Copy that. Go ahead and press for waypoint 4.
Good copy, clear to be in hot.
Leap is off range. Target did not acquire. Laser did not acquire.
Jump 1, Sting 1. Does Sting 2 have permission to go in on waypoint 4?
A-firm, relief is off. Turn to the south.
Copy. You get the press for waypoint 4.
Running in. Sting 2, pickle times 1. Back off to the south.
Jump 1, Sting 1.
Roger. Confirmed.
Are you going in with LGBs or JDAMs?
LGBs.
Slash. Copy. Ensure laser code is set for 1688. Sting 1 is currently orbiting the target area and has the ability to buddy lace.
Roger, Lays. I'm on 1688.
1688 laser code. Sting 1, 1688 for lasers.
Be advised, Sting 2 is running back in for second attack.
Yeah, still nothing. Leap is off to the southwest.
Sting 2 running in hot.
Nose back around and try to find the target. Leap 1 is falling in behind Sting 2.
Sting 2, pickle. Off to the north.
Two, 1, anchor back at steer point 2.
Copy, returning steer point 2.
Sting 1, advise when inbound.
One GB relays on my own laser.
more LGVs do you have?
I got 3 more.
Copy, fuel state.
6,900.
Copy. Sting flight's running pretty low on gas. Sting 1's going to come in from the south to the north, drop 2 JDAMs on target, and Sting flight's going to RTB.
Sting 1, Sting 2, be advised, I packed 4 of each. Am I clear to jettison this ordnance so I can conserve some fuel?
Sting 1, two-way. Good hit, 1.
Sting 2's around in a clockwise orbit around waypoint 2, Angels 12, fuel state 4.0.
One eyes on. I'm going to go ahead and start heading back to the base. I'll drop some flares for you as soon as you can get an ID on me.
Copy, stand by. Let me see if I can pick you up on SA before you do. I think I'm tracking you to my southeast. Stand by.
Confirm, I'm here direct 6 o'clock right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a 180 and then drop me some flares. I'll follow you in.
Copy. Let me know when you need them.
I think I've got visual. Go ahead and drop them.
Stand by. Flares drop.
Visual. One, this 2, do you want me to form up or you just want to go direct to Nellis?
Go ahead and head direct to Nellis. What's your fuel state?
3.8 should be good.
Yeah, I'm at 5.6. Go ahead and head straight to Nellis. Active is 2-1 left.
Copy, RTB also visual on Wasp 1, or correction, Jump 1.
Copy.
Winner gets $1. Sting 1, what's our runway and landing order?
That's runway 21 left. You'll be first, then jump, then myself. I am kind of sitting far back.
Good copy. I'm currently about 13 miles out, perpendicular.
Copy.
I'm gonna go ahead and descend.
Actually, looks like River's gonna be going in first, then you, then me.
Got somebody over the speedway now.
Hey, firm, that's River. He's going in first. So I'm trying to get down so you can take some pictures.
Roger that. I'm on an 8-mile right base at this moment.
Copy.
Link 11 is down.
Sting 2 turning final to runway 21 left, 8-mile final, be a full stop landing.
Nellis Tower, Sting 1-1, 5 miles out on final for 2-1 left. Nellis Tower, Sting 1-1, short final 1.5 out. Full stop landing for runway 21 left.
Be advised, Sting 1-2 is off the active, taxiway Bravo. To be careful turning on to Bravo. Jump 1 and I are lined up literally at the start of the taxiway. Don't back up, don't back up, don't back up. Stop there.
Sting 1's going to take the full length. Parking stalls are 17 for us and 18 for Ripper.
Jump point, can you advise our ramp? No.
Sting 1 just said it, I don't remember. Seventeen, 18.
Affirm, Sting flight will take ramp 17 and jump will take 18.
Copy 2, headed to 17. I'll follow you in.
Alright, jump 1 sign out. Let's see all of this support in the ready room.
Roger.
Oh, it's orange. I see what happened now. Okay. It's not letting me change seat.
Say again.
It's not letting me change seats.
Oh.
I gotta play with the laser pod on that more. And I don't know why I had it set to 1688, but it was not finding your code.
That is weird.
I used to do it all the time with no problem.
I know.
I was pointing right at it too, so I wasn't like, I was pointing right at it. I had plenty of room, but just was not grabbing it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though. It was a teeny tiny bit jittery at first, but once we got up, it was smooth, no problems.
It was probably just having to load in all the objects and lights and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Well, anytime I'm on the ground at Nellis, it's a tiny bit jittery, so I'm not surprised.
Fair enough.
Hi, fellas.
That was a good hop. Felt good.
Yep. Saturday we'll do Mavericks, JSLs, and harpoons. I'm going to put some boats in Lake Mead, and we'll shoot the harpoons at it. And I'll put some targets along the edge of the lake.
I'm gonna be a no-go for that because this weekend is the wife's birthday, and we are heading out for a weekend of sun and fun.
Sounds good, buddy. You have a good weekend.
Yee.
Yeah, man. Tell her happy birthday from the rest of us.
Will do.
But yeah, I'll be here Saturday.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Y'all take it easy.
You too, bud. Bye.
Yep. Thanks for the flight. It was good. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem at all, bud. Bye.